Hello everyone and welcome to the topic of this video, turning an abandoned ruin into a hospitable home using construction management.
Commander, just what you hope to
Let's start
accomplish.
off with chapter 1, a history
Suppose
and
you get
geography.
beyond the stratosphere, what will
The
happen
project is
today?
located in Goa, India on my family's property. The building that you see here is also the starting point of this project and has historically been used as the outhouse,
Why
but
did
since
those
the
investors
1970s was
survive?
left in a state of disrepair and abandonment. Now, from the picture and also the site plan that has just come up, you can tell that the area is very heavily wooded with a lot of dense forest around, and this makes for a really great and unique project. The lines also depict the extent of land that we have to work with, and they also highlight the relationship that the outhouse, represented in the green rectangle, has with the central house right in the middle of the image and also the land that it's on. And because this is a unique project, it also has a very unique problems, namely one, the access represented with the magenta line. So you have to come all the way past the main house at the back over here, past the greenhouse, past the well, and on top a flight of stairs to reach the outhouse. Now, I should mention that along with this build, we're also doing a lot of refurbishment and repairs to existing infrastructure in the main house. And so the water tank that you see here is going to be replaced. And this brings us to the main objective of this build. Since the outhouse acts as a satellite to the main house, we can knock two birds with one stone, which is developing the outhouse to a resourceful state while providing upgraded and improved infrastructure that the main house desperately needs. This, however, is going to come with its own unique set of pros and cons. So, getting into the pros and the cons now. We'll start off with the pros. Number one is that there's no planning or building permits required. And this is because I'm building within the same plot of land. I'm not making any structural changes or foundational repairs. And from a construction management point of view, this is great because there's no stopping and starting. I don't have to wait for any of the local authorities to give me the green light. I have total control of project trajectory. Number two is that this is a satellite project, which means that a lot of the essential infrastructure is already present in the house. And I'm talking about the main electrical supply connecting to the national grid, the main supply for the water, and also a dedicated septic tank. All I have to do is just connect and link the outhouse with these infrastructure components. And this is great because it's a lot less work involved physically, but also provides me with more workarounds that are in my favor. And finally, the last pro is that this is a relatively quick return on investment. And so to get it to a stage of just core and shell, we've spent around 3 lakh rupees, which is just shy of 4,000 US dollars. And within this phase, getting it hospitable and livable, we project to spend around 4 lakh rupees or just shy of 5,000 US dollars. So therefore, I get a home studio that is 30 square meters for less than 10,000 US dollars. And I challenge anyone to find that kind of value anywhere. So definitely these are great pros and advantages to start off with, and you can see that they make the project super straightforward and simple, but that doesn't mean that it'll be easy. And this is because of the risks involved, namely number one, difficult site access. So unfortunately, we are working with very tight parameters on site and extreme changes in elevation that make it impossible to get any heavy mechanical equipment. Almost everything has to be done by hand, including transportation of all of the materials. And this complicates things because you are inviting more risk in terms of the potential for delays and also working with a lot more uncertainty with the labor over here, which brings me into points 2 till 4. They're kind of all associated and grouped together. Unprofessional workmanship, rural area challenges, and language barriers. I don't have much choice. I'm forced to work with notoriously unprofessional contractors that show up late. They're missing labor, equipment, and materials. And oftentimes they don't speak English, so it makes it extra challenging to, manage them and direct them as to what exactly the project requires at a certain time. And finally, the weather also plays a big part in this because there's extremely challenging weather. So all the major work has to be completed before the monsoon rains, as everything slows down during that period. Effectively, we have to push to complete the work in the summer, and it's really very hot, difficult, sweltering conditions before it gets too wet to do any work. And these are the main risks that can topple the project timeline. I'm not going to go into a detailed risk analysis, but this is just to understand that this project has a stronger desire to control the cost over the time, because delays are pretty much guaranteed with working with all of these risks.
Well, it's more than a job.
Why did you talk yourself into this town?
It's a chance to enter a world that man's imagination has barely scratched.
Up there? How high?
No, it's not space travel yet or anything like that. Just 20 miles or so. A balloon. But it'd be the first step towards space. Have this piano tune.
Since we've been acquainted with the project background, I'd like to get into chapter 2, which was project execution and bad omens. Starting off with the 3D planning and drawings. On screen is a full draft model of what we wanted to achieve, particularly with the infrastructure and a focus on the plumbing and how this would connect to the main house and interact with the infrastructure components already provided. The green lines represent the mains water supply and discharge connecting to the raised tank behind the outhouse, and the blue line represents the sewage, demonstrating the easiest planned path, taking into consideration the terrain and elevation changes, along with changes and additions to the line in the future. Along with these drawings, we also provided draft renders to demonstrate the design language and express what the end goal could look like. Now, these were used mainly for guidelines, and that brings us to the fact that there is still a lot of change and open-ended answers associated with this project. Along with the uncertainty associated with the project, a detailed schedule with room for change was required. And since we've already spoken about how unpredictable the contractors can be, this schedule would help us respond appropriately to some of the risks and cons that the contractor naturally invites into the project. So, keeping this in mind, I created this schedule that served as a template similar to the traditional project management approach, but with the opportunity to break up some of the work packages and follow an agile approach where we are able to create a Scrum backlog. In doing so, we are able to determine the best possible approach to deal with problems as they arise while keeping the project momentum going. After the creation of the schedule, we started off with the procurement of plumbing requirements and trenching to begin project execution.
And I was just driving in my car, I'm cruising, listening to music, to music, to music. And I was just driving in my car, I'm cruising, listening to music, to music. And I was just driving in my car, I'm cruising, listening to music, to music, to music. And I was just driving in my car, I'm cruising, listening to music, to music, to music.
Yeah.
It was a doggonest experience. Just floating around in space. Deep blue sky all around me. Way down below the Earth. Almost like another planet. Rushing toward me. It's fantastic.